Hi, it's Guy Arnold, and this is the second video about win-win agreements. This is about win-win agreements in a reactive situation. Now, in our first video, we talked about the key aspects of a win-win agreement, how to use it, what win meant, what win really means, sticking to your values and your principles, etc. And building relationships with the other person, and through that, building bridges, and eventually over time, coming to win-win outcomes. Now, there are three ways really that you can use it. Number one is you just generally use it to plan things and put ideas together. But the two ways in which it is particularly helpful is reactive and proactive. So this is reactive. This is when someone comes to you, maybe your boss, maybe someone who works for you, maybe a friend, maybe someone who's close to you, maybe a partner, maybe someone you can't stand the sight of, maybe someone you really struggle with. And they come to you and they go, hey Guy, I'd like to sort something out with you, or hey Guy, I want your ideas on this, or hey Guy, let's talk about that. What do you think? And with those situations, the temptation is, first of all, to either not think and just give a straightforward sort of bleh, straightforward sort of just formulate out your thoughts without really thinking, and that rarely ever gets much value. Maybe in minor situations that can get you forward. Or you tend to panic. Oh my God, what do they really want? Maybe it's your boss. Then they come to you and they go, Guy, have you got 2 minutes? You go, oh my God, what do they really want? It's never 2 minutes either, is it? And so what I'm suggesting is, in these situations, or in any situation where someone wants to interact with you and you're not really clear that you both want the same thing, there may be some tension, there may be some issues to resolve, but you generally feel there's a need to get to a higher output, a third alternative. The thing to use is the win-win agreement. So what you do in those situations, you get your blank pad. There it is, your blank pad. There's the one we scribbled over. Oopsie, you get that. You don't make a mess of it, you don't screw the paper up. And you got your blank pad, and then you get your pen and you go, aha. You say to the other person, yeah, I can talk about that, just give me a minute. And you get your blank pad and you go, I, Dr. Grack. Okay? And now you're ready. I, Dr. Grack. That's all you do. I, Dr. Grack. Okay? And so the other person, they say, well, now, Guy, what we want to talk about is this, we want to do this, So you say, oh, right, okay. Is it okay you slow them down? What you're trying to do is slow them down. You're trying to get calm here. You're trying to go for win-win rather than win-lose or lose-win. You want to get this win-win. You don't want to win-lose where you give in to them. You don't want to lose-win where they give in to you. Okay? Probably those words work better the other way around if you're thinking about yourself first. Doesn't really matter. I'm sure you get the idea. You want to get step by step to this third alternative where you can both work together constructively to find outcomes that either of you hadn't considered before. So what you do is you want to slow that down. The first way to slow them down is get your piece of paper and your pen and your 4-colour pen and make those notes. And say to them, slow them down, hold on a second, yeah, that's no fine. Just going to get my pad, just going to get my pen, and I'm going to make some notes if that's all right with you. So just by doing that, you've slowed them down. They'll start going, they'll start going for it, okay? And you wait for a suitable break. And you say, oh, okay, that sounds really interesting. I've taken some notes. What I'd like to do is talk about this with you until we can find a solution that we are both happy with. Okay, so you have slowed them down again and you have clarified the intent. The intent should always be a solution we are both happy with. So you say, what I'd like to do is, can I work with you to try and find a solution we're both happy with? Is that okay with you? And hopefully they're going to say yes to that, because it's bloody obvious common sense. Now, if they don't say yes, if they say, no, I just want you to listen and do as you're told, then you know you're probably going to end up at no deal. Okay? No deal today. Okay, well, you tell me what you think, and of course I'll give you my input, but you're the boss and I value my job, so of course I'll do what you want me to do, but I do think that we do need to discuss this, so let's keep going anyway and see where we get. So be prepared to go for that no deal in that situation. Also, the other time to go for a no deal is where they're too easy. They might say, oh yes, guy, whatever you say, you tell me what to do and I'll do it. That's also a no deal because they're not contributing, they're not bought into it, and they're not going for this higher place, this third alternative. Okay, so it's the best. Number one, slow down by getting your pad and your 4-colour pen out and asking permission to take notes. Number two, slow down by saying, let's try and find a solution we're both happy with. Then, and only then, I would suggest you need to go into listening to them, to seeking first to understand. Because by slowing down, you've got your own mind in place, you've got your own win-win mindset in place. Your end in mind, your values and your principles. You've got that in place. Okay. You then ask your open questions. Okay, they might be just going for it. If they go for it, you take the notes wherever is suitable. Okay, so you go with what they want to go, but you use the win-win structure, okay, to take your notes. I, Dr. GRAC. Okay, I tend to split it into 3 things here. This is the intent and desired results. This is the guidelines and resources. They're all up here for you to have a look at. And these is the accountability and consequences. So this is the purpose of what we're trying to achieve. This is the plan of what we're trying to achieve. And this is the follow-up for what we're trying to achieve. Purpose, plan, follow-up. Nice and easy. Okay. So you write what they say in whatever place is suitable for it. And then you look for the gaps. Okay, let's find there's a gap here, there's a gap there, there's a gap here, there's a gap there, and there's a gap there. So you've identified some gaps and you ask some open questions. You can ask open questions for the gaps, you can ask open questions to clarify what they're saying, and very often, this is a very good tip, people often say things that they don't really know what they mean. So we need to be more successful here. The open question is, what do we mean by successful? What does successful actually mean? We need to be the best in this area. Okay, well, how do we measure best? We've got some real problems in this situation. What sort of problems exactly? We're really hurting here. What's hurting, when, and who? Okay, so lots of open questions, and the philosopher Epictetus said, in order to be intelligent, in order to get great results, you have to appear really stupid. And the best way to sound really stupid is to ask lots of open questions, like, what do we mean by success? What do you mean by that? How can we measure that? What are we really trying to achieve here? And it sounds like it's a bit silly, but actually the simplest open questions on these absolutely critical issues are hugely valuable and hugely intelligent, and you'll be amazed at what comes out when you ask the open questions and you're not frightened. Don't make any assumptions. Don't ever assume anything. Don't make any assumptions. And also don't fall prey to your own beliefs. Don't allow your prejudices and your beliefs to colour this thing. This is uncoloured. This is unbiased. This is a seek first to understand them from their point of view. Empathic, not sympathic, empathic. Okay? And then hopefully, by doing that really well, to allow them to have the courage to understand you from your point of view. Because you can only do what you can do. You can't do anything else. So you're looking for your gaps. You're asking these open questions. And remember, the open questions were who, what, where, when, how, and which. And the one, of course, too, that we discussed last time to not use is why. Lots and lots and lots of small open questions. And through this, you start to get their point of view. You stick by your principles. You build the relationship with them, because being listened to properly, people are terrible at listening. You may have noticed this. When you do use listening as a tool every day in your career, which is what I've done for 30 years, you notice how bad other people are at listening. It's a skill. Listening is a skill. It's open questions. It's reflecting, it's taking really good notes, it's using your full colour pen, it's not making any assumptions, it's not allowing your own biases to enter it, it's not advising, it's not probing, it's not interpreting, it's not evaluating. It is just listening to understand them from their point of view without any colouring from any other source. Really important. And you've got their listening. Eventually then they will hopefully allow you to start to put some of your stuff in. I can't find the other pen, must have gone down there. So maybe you want to add in some ideas of your own here, whatever. They may then go back to listening to telling you what they think. So you go round and round. Okay, round and round. That's fine. Round and round and round. But round and round and round with structure, remember. Okay? So the key point here is when you're using a win-win agreement, reactively, when something comes your way that you're not expecting, or you might be planned, etc., in which case you can use it proactively, which we'll talk about in a minute. But something comes your way that you're not expecting, calm them down by getting the win-win agreement system out, the blank pad and the 4-colour pen. It's your win-win agreement system. It's the simplest system in the world. Remember, Dr. Crap, just write it down, and then go for the open questions, the reflection and the peeling of the onion, and go round and round and round until you get a clear picture. You're going to build the relationship, get a clear picture, which is going to be either, yes, you start moving towards this fantastic win-win thing here, or you start to be in this compromise area here, which is the no deal today with the aim of moving to a win-win in the future. And really that's all there is to say on it reactively. The point about reactively is to get the tools out and use them to slow down the situation, to calm your own mind down, your fight or flight response to all these fears that are going to come your way because you don't know what they're thinking, you don't know what's coming your way. They may be in a stronger position to you socially. And you're probably going to feel uncomfortable, and that's going to cause your fight or flight mechanism to trigger. When your fight or flight mechanism triggers, you lose all sense because it takes away the blood from your cortex. You lose the ability to think rationally. It's absolutely critical to slow it down, to think win-win, to get yourself calm, to get the structure, to use the 4-colour pen and the system, and to just get some real calmness in here with the utter conviction, and I can tell you, I've been using this for 30 years or more, that if you use these tools, it works. I'm going to repeat that. If you use these tools, it works. And I have to say to you, in 30 years of solving all sorts of issues, negotiating, mediating, dispute resolution, planning new systems, constructing ideas, putting things together for clients, this has never not worked. This has never not worked. So it is the system. It's just like saying if you go to the gym and do the exercises, you will get fitter. It's exactly the same principle. If you have the tools and use the system, you will become more effective in your communications with other people, with no exceptions. It's just up to you to make sure that you use these tools properly. And please, if you need any help, do give us a shout. We can help you. Thank you.